We live. It did it early. Like I've gotten StreamYard, YouTube. I got the timing down, and then you switch it up on me. How dare you? Okay. Well, welcome to episode 13. Lucky 13 of We Are Trans presents. Yes, that 13 presents Trans Talks. I am so excited. Listen, everyone on the show is one of our at We Are Trans's favorite people. But I am very, very happy to bring, like, honestly, one of my favorite people. It's all been honest. One of my favorite people. Comedian, sketch writer, director, wonderful person, Chloe Zoser.
Hey, Sammie. I'm doing okay. I'm very happy to be here with you.
Awesome. So the first thing I ask on this show is for you to introduce yourself a little further to people. I specifically ask pronouns, even though they're on the screen, say them anyway, and what words you use to describe yourself. That can be identity-wise, but it could also just be your hobbies. You know, anything that you use to describe yourself. That's the two things that I ask, but anything that you would like the people to know about you, right up top, this is your time to share it.
All right. My name is Chloe Koser. I use she, her pronouns. I am trans femme. I am pansexual, polyamorous, married, kinky, just like all the good stuff. All the good.
Yeah.
All of this stuff. I'm a verse switch. I am omnivorous in most things. I'm a comedian, actor, director, writer, character performer, all that jazz. I'm okay at electric guitar. I'm okay at electric guitar. That's about where that is.
Cool.
Yeah. I think those are the things.
Yeah. Great job introducing yourself. Like A+ work.
I think about myself all the time, so it's easy to talk about.
So, another question I ask every week on this show is, and it's honestly one of my favorite things to ask people, not just trans people, because I think like we should all be aware of this. It's for everyone. What gives you gender euphoria?
Oh God, that is a happy question.
Right?
I get a lot of gender euphoria from the way I dress.
Mm-hmm.
I find clothes very euphoric. I like my haircut a lot. I don't know. I feel like this sounds shallow, but those are things that make me really happy. Also, honestly, like being out in the world gives me gender euphoria. Like as I'm like moving, like as I move and interacting with people as I interact, I can feel myself like reflected back. I feel like sometimes I tend towards neutrality when I'm by myself. An extrovert in all things. Yeah, and also and frankly like dating people and making out and sex all makes me very euphoric. Yeah, those things.
Yeah, cool. And this is a related question. I actually haven't asked this on the show before, but I think I'm going to. Because it's related. What?
Oh, sorry. I thought the question was what's my IQ, and it's 170.
Interview over.
Sorry, that's made up. I really don't want to accidentally try and convince anyone that I have an IQ of 170. Sorry,
I mean, I believed you. I was just like, yeah, this tracks.
It would make me like probably one of the 3 smartest people in the world.
I mean, you mean you're not?
I am. I can't. It's too much to be tested by.
Yeah, no, I get it. It's yeah. So, but this question, it's related to gender euphoria. But do you have a favorite clothing item? And this could be like a classification, but or it could be like something specific, or it could be shorts.
No, yeah. Such a question. I think if anyone's looked at me in public for very long, like the answer is black dresses, specifically, generally black fit and flare dresses, which are dresses that hug up high and then go out over the hips. They're very hourglass making, and like as I just like go back through like a lot of my major gender influencers, like when I was growing up, who I realized were mostly evil femme magic users, and like Wednesday Addams and the like. Like that kind of dressing has like stayed around for me.
I mean, you're totally who Wednesday Addams grew up to be.
That's the best thing anyone's ever told me.
It's just like she just dyed her hair red.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've been wearing, this is completely unrelated. I've been wearing a lot of black and white striped shirts.
Yeah.
And like, but and like the only shorts I own are black. So every time I wear that with black shorts, I'm just like, oh, look, adult Pugsley Addams figured some stuff out.
Yeah, depending on the direction, it's either Pugsley Addams or a referee.
No, I do horizontal. It's like vertical stripes, and I do not talk. So, this is another. I think this is going to be another question you're going to love for opposite reasons than the other ones.
Yeah.
Because this is when you get to talk some shit. Okay.
Oh, that's my favorite.
What cis nonsense are you sick of?
Oh God. Recently a thing that has been annoying me on dating apps is anytime I see someone, like especially on like a queer app like Lex, which is a dating app, communication app for basically everybody but cis men, is seeing a cis woman put up that like it's like cis women only, that like they're just actively saying it's like I'm transphobic, I won't date people. I don't get why people tell on themselves like that.
Yeah.
Like if you don't want to date a trans person, which maybe you should examine the reasons why you don't want to date a trans person,
just don't
date trans people. Like it's not that hard to like filter through your fucking messages.
Yeah.
I mean, there are.
I mean, that's what we do with you. That's what I'm doing. That's what I did with cis people. I'm just like, no thanks.
There are like a handful of things that I want in a person that are like shallow, or a couple like things that are like turnoffs that are like topical. But I try not to talk about it because that's like on me. That's on me for sucking. Mm-hmm. And things that like I'm trying to like work through because I realize it's just like bullshit. Mm-hmm. Cis nonsense on dating apps. I like before I had my vaginoplasty, people would disconnect with me once they learned I had a penis. Post vaginoplasty, other people have disconnected me upon finding out I don't have a penis. Yeah, it was no winning with these cis motherfuckers.
So changing gears a little bit, and actually like quite a bit maybe, but I don't know the answer to this question. How did you get into sketch?
Yeah. It's relatively easy. I basically turned 30 and was like, I can't not do comedy anymore.
Mhm.
It was before I figured out my gender. I was massively depressed through my teens and 20s. Um, and I was like, I think I have to at least try. And when I started doing comedy, my wife signed me up for improv classes because I wanted to take improv classes to try and help get over stage fright for doing stand up, which I figured would be my main thing. And then I just really loved improv. And from improv, it's really easy to go over to sketch because I love sketch comedy.
Mhm.
So I started like taking sketch classes. I think even although I put up a few sketches like at like sketch jams at like the UCB theater. Uh, but really my sketch performance started at UCB. They had their highest level sketch classes. The students put on a show, and they basically got volunteer actors for them.
Mhm.
Um, and there was one sketch teacher in particular who liked the way I acted, so I was just in every one of his class shows, and I signed up for a bunch of others. And that year, I was in over 25 unique half-hour sketch shows. Um, so I was in multiple a month. I was in rehearsals all the time. That's my acting training. Like that's the acting training I had was just like a trial by fire of being in an enormous number of shows and doing hundreds and hundreds of hours of rehearsal
Mhm.
and performance. And then I tried out through like the grueling 3 to 4 month process of auditioning to be on a sketch team at the UCB while it still existed on this coast. And then I got on and kind of continue with that. Now I mostly direct. I am on a sketch team, but a lot of it was like it was a thing that was available. I love sketch comedy, um, and it clicked. I actually, when I started comedy, I didn't have any evidence to suggest that I would be a good performer.
Mhm.
I figured I might be able to write me something that got me on stage, and then the performing is what like clicked, uh, which was a very pleasant surprise because I like performing and being on
Yeah.
stage. So yeah, long answer.
Yeah, no, that's I thank you. Uh what's your sketch team called? And is there a link in the comments? I know the answer to the second one. The second answer is yes.
Well, there are two teams. There's a team I direct called Plant Moms. The
Mhm.
link to their videos is in the comments. Um, and then I am also on a sketch team called Queer Window. Um, the link to that, I believe, is also in the comments. Link to the YouTube videos. Uh,
Yes.
yeah,
Yeah, and but they're both fantastic.
thank you.
Yeah, and you watching this video, uh, you are also going to think they're fantastic after you finish this watching this interview and then watch those two links.
Yeah,
You're gonna have a good time, is what I'm saying.
yeah, they're great. I love my work with Queer Window, and I am so proud of the team I direct.
Mhm.
Um, it's funny. I find directing far more stressful um, than being on a team, but it does make me feel so proud. It's
Yeah.
frankly like an emotionally harrowing experience
Oh
for
yeah,
me.
that's how I feel about producing shows. I'm just like I hate this, but I also love this.
Directing is rough because I truly feel like teams succeed because of their talent, they fail because of their director. Like a good director should be able to keep their team safe. You
Mhm.
should be able to foresee pitfalls. You should be able to make sure that their intent is coming out through their work.
Mhm.
Um, so for me, it feels like a non-zero sum game. Like at best, I don't
Yeah.
fuck up the work of these people I really care about.
Yeah.
Uh, and at worst, I fuck up the work of all these people I care about. So it's like zero or negative.
Yeah.
But I love it.
Yeah. And it's, do you have any tips for, I mean, anyone, but because of what this show is, trans people specifically looking to get into comedy, and more specifically sketch, but also directing. Um,
Yeah, directing, I will say, I think is tough to get into just
yeah,
because there aren't, in general, as many sketch groups. Like, there are a lot of improv groups because there's very little overhead to that. But
yeah,
sketch requires a lot of organizing and a lot of work in advance. Um, I do feel like there are more directors than there are teams that want directors. Is just kind of the nature of it. But for getting into sketch or getting into comedy, um, if you're for anyone, I would say just make stuff. There's a great Ira Glass clip. It's Ira Glass on creativity. It's like 2 minutes long. It's on YouTube. It's phenomenal. I think it's great for anyone entering any creative endeavor. Basically, the thesis of it is that you start making art because you like that art. So you have good taste for it. Like when I got into comedy, I gorged myself on sketch my whole life. And
yeah.
I had strong opinions on what good sketch was and what bad sketch was. Then when I started making things, I'd been making things for 0 time, but critiquing them for 30 years.
Yeah, yeah.
So nothing I could make could satisfy that critic. And the only way to bridge that gap is to just make. Make without judgment as best you can. Make with purpose. Figure out things you want to get better at and focus on them. Because you have to practice well. You can't just practice. Like I know so many people like in improv who will just go to rehearsal, and there's nothing in particular they're working on, and they don't get better. You have to pick your thing and work on that tool. For trans people who want to get into this, I highly recommend looking up mics for trans and non-binary people. Like start in the safer space. That's why people are making a safer space. It's just going to go better. I mean, I think there's this idea that there's merit to doing this grind where you start with the shittiest possible mics with the shittiest possible people, but really it just sucks and you don't learn that much. You don't learn much from a disinterested audience. And you don't learn much when the people who are there want nothing to do with who you are, or it can be like actively possible. Look for those mics and find the people who do this work and talk to them. I coach and direct and teach trans and non-binary people for free. If you're a T and NB and want to do comedy, talk to me. I give lessons for free. This offer has stood for like over 4 years now, and way fewer people take me up on it than you'd figure. I have more people who pay me to teach and direct them than I have ones who will do it for free. Which is
I teach stand-up and same.
yeah, people will pay, but like when I offer fight for free, people don't want it. So people end up like paying like, I mean, my standard rate is 25 to 30 an hour. Or I'll get hired by some place that's like doing better pay than that, frankly. But yeah, because it just helps, and they'll know where you can perform. They'll know the best ways to study. And frankly, I did have an advantage winning comedy because like I got onto a sketch team at the UCB, and then I came out. Also, when I came out, I was the first openly trans performer at the UCB on either coast. It was a very trans empty scene. And the scene did a lot of learning on me. And it took a couple years because I've been out for 5 years and doing comedy the whole time. And it took a couple years before other people started showing up. And I started meeting other trans and non-binary people in comedy. And then for there to be other trans non-binary performers who were like crushing it at the theater. Although I think all the trans and non-binary performers I know at the theater got onto a team first and then came out. I don't think by plan. I think that's just what happened.
So what your advice is, be really lucky.
Yeah, be lucky, stay in the closet, make it revealed. No, it's better. It's better now. There are avenues. I do know. I do know lots of trans and non-binary sketch comedians and performers who have done everything exclusively while they're out, and they're fantastic. Octavia Leona Koner, Blaze Baca, are both absolutely fucking powerhouses.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, there are a lot. They're really good people.
Well, I might as well ask that who are trans people you think are doing good work question that I ask at the end.
Oh, yeah.
We're not at the end, but I might as well ask it now.
Yeah. On Queer Window, there's Sarah Dietrich. Joni Drago is fucking phenomenal. Kate Sisk is phenomenal. I'm trying to think of people like on the scene that folks may or may not know of. Donnie doesn't do comedy, but Donnie Ciancotto is Ciancotto. It's an Italian name. Is a phenomenal performer and person. There are I'm blanking on their name because there are a lot of Christian Dan Liu on Queer Window. How the fuck am I forgetting their name? Another wonderful non-binary writer performer. They did a sketch called Tampons for Men, that went viral.
I know this.
Yeah. I don't know.
No, I don't know their name, and I'm upset.
Yeah, no, I know. I've blanked on names of close friends after like knowing them for years and suddenly being in conversation. I'm like, I can't get the name. My mind is like a steel trap otherwise. Like I still know where to find the items in the original Zelda after not having like played it for 15 years. But I can't remember my fucking friend's name. Oh well, I guess they're forgettable.
So here's a question to ask, and it might be like hard to point at like one or even a few, but tell me and the people watching some of your favorite sketches.
Oh, some of my favorite sketches. God, I love almost anything from Key and Peele. They did have one sketch where they said, and translate and coming, they said the phrase chicks with dicks, which I was not expecting because I've watched that show end to end a number of times. But I think they're like everything they do is a masterclass. They're so good at acting. They're so good at performing. The writing is so tight. I love the East versus West Bowl just because it's so many jokes per minute. Like there's so many jokes. Like every 3 seconds is like 4 jokes.
Mm-hmm.
And they're all good and they're all on game. They're all smart. They're all character driven. And I think Key and Peele Terry's sketch is absolutely fucking berserk. It's bloated. It's confusing. There's a lot about it that really shouldn't work. And the ending doesn't make a whole lot of sense, but I think it's truly, truly masterful. What else do I love?
Gremlin, sorry.
I love I believe the sketch from Mr. Show is named The Ultimate Dick Sucker, which is a Bob Odenkirk written sketch, so it's very, very tight. It does have the W slur for sex workers in it, which naturally David Cross does. You can split up Mr. Show's sketches into 2 categories. The good ones written by Bob Odenkirk, and then all the ones written by David Cross, which are massively problematic and not very well written. There's so many sketches I love. Mustard A&A's from Mr. Show is phenomenal.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of the things from I Think You Should Leave, which at first I didn't like and has really, really grown on me.
Yeah.
Specifically, there's a brunch. There's one with some women at brunch that is absolutely ludicrous. As well as Baby of the Year has got to be one of the most impressive, science-defying sketches. Again, so much about I Think You Should Leave is like anti-comedy and really messing with the formula, but it's truly great. Jackie Chan Board Game by Tim and Eric.
Yeah,
that is stunning. Yeah. I feel like if we're
awesome.
We'll just take forever, as I remember.
Yeah, no, it's totally. Yeah, so and now we are on to the fun stuff, my friend. It's all been fun. But but I ask this question every week. What is your comfort food, comfort music, comfort movie?
Oh, I feel like I have a lot of comfort foods. I've eaten my feelings since I was a child, so I have a lot of comfort foods. Uh, good burgers, bad pizza, fast food, nachos, any quality, cereal, chips and salsa, uh, kind of like a lot of like carby things, uh, candy, specifically like chocolate and peanut butter candy. I'll eat a bag of Reese's cups in sheer emotional desperation. Uh, comfort music is like interesting. I listen to really sad music when I'm very happy.
I get
Like,
that.
yeah, like when I'm really happy, that's when I'm like walking around like singing like the most upsetting like Radiohead and Fiona Apple songs I can muster. Um, I feel like I go to Aesop Rock a lot for comfort. Who's a kind of alt rapper who's, I mean, frankly, his vocabulary is so monstrous that it's hard to code what the fuck he's talking about a lot of the time, but he's phenomenal. Saint Vincent, I fucking love Saint Vincent. I have a Saint Vincent signature guitar that is my baby, and I love it. Here, I'll show it right now because I fucking love this thing. And I followed it forever on Reverb and got it used. Like, look at that.
Nice.
Isn't that a gorgeous guitar? It fucking it weighs nothing. This is like a 5-pound guitar, which is great because I have shitty shoulders. And it has a cutout that's literally for boobs. It's literally, and when St. Vincent described it, she said a body of a guitar for people with breasts. She didn't even use gendered language with it because she's great. Comfort movie? I don't feel like I tend to watch movies for like comfort as much. They seem like a big time investment. Comfort shows like Futurama, like for sure. You know, Futurama like seasons at a time.
Yeah, same.
Yeah.
I almost named my dog Nibbler. So.
Oh, I'm very glad you think to name your dog after. What the fuck's Fry's dog's name?
Sparky. No, it was no.
I've been thinking about Spark a lot recently, so I have no idea.
Let's go rewatch the dog episode and cry.
So I watched the dog episode, which is one of the most heartbreaking episodes of TV ever, and I watched it with the commentary on because I was watching all the videos with commentary, and I don't watch Jurassic Park because it is a guaranteed unhappy, ugly cry. And the entire episode of the commentary, they weren't talking about the end, and then it got to the end, and they just went, "Well, here it is," and they went silent. And I just got broadsided by the ending and learned nothing about it, and it was left as a soggy pile of tears. Oh.
There are a few Futurama episodes that'll get you.
Yeah, that one, The Sting gets me.
Mm-hmm.
One with Bender and Hermes at the end.
Oh, yes, I was gonna bring that up.
Leela's parents? Oh, what goes through like the whole like montage of how they like tried to stay by her while she was like at the orphanarium.
I know, they were like moving her out of the way of things.
Yeah, I like that show.
Yeah. So, and the answer can be nothing. I'm gonna start asking this question. What are you reading?
Well, I've got 2 books up next. I actually just recently finished, at the recommendation, my girlfriend is obsessed with it, Gideon the Ninth.
It was good.
Yeah, it's a book about lesbian space necromancers, and it sounds like it'd be gimmicky. It's just an excellent excellently written genre fiction. I don't tend to read genre fiction. I'm a real like prose snob. I go through periods where I read a lot. So, well, like I typically can't get through fantasy books. But I love that one. Up next on my shelf is the sequel to Gideon the Ninth, Harrow the Ninth. But the one I'm frankly more excited about is was it Kingdom of the Sun? Oh, Clara and the Sun. By,
I read it. It's great.
Ishiguro. You read it? Oh, I love Ishiguro.
Yeah.
Ishiguro might be my favorite living writer. All of his books absolutely gut me. I really like.
Yeah. It's just like if you love to cry.
Yeah, and his last book was high fantasy, even though it was like also like one of today's best living writers. So there are like sword fights in it, written by someone whose every sentence is poetry, and they're the best sword fights ever.
It's like, have you ever read Colson Whitehead?
No, I know that name.
Yeah, he's written a lot. He wrote the did he write the Underground Railroad? But he has this one book that it's like one of the greatest living authors, but it's a zombie book. And it's just like you said, it's like high poetry, but just
yeah.
I hate that I can't remember what it's called.
Oh well, I'll look into Colson Whitehead for sure, because I am a lit queen. It's something that annoys me about myself. It's like most other media, I love trashy media, but with books, I just can't. I don't know.
Okay. I have to ask this question. What video games you playing right now?
Well, I just rebooted up Stardew Valley because there've been a lot of expansions, so I started a new game. I've been really enjoying that, and Stardew Valley is an absolute masterpiece. What else have I been playing? I played Baba Is You, which is probably the best puzzle game ever made. I actually played that recently. It had been long enough, and the puzzles are so fucking hard that it felt like practically like having not played it before. It's cheap, it's good, it's spectacular. I recently replayed through the Mass Effect trilogy with the Legendary Edition, which is very fun. I had a lot of euphoric times as an egg playing Fem Shep, so it felt very, very nice to return to her post coming out. Those are good ones. I unfortunately, like honestly, I play a lot of idle games because I've been down recently, and so I've been wanting to zone out. So I've been playing like fucking clicker games, which I'm not proud of, and I am embarrassed of, which aren't synonyms, but they're close. But both are true. Shame is the word I was looking for. Because games are art. I think that there's a lot of benefits that come from playing games and ingesting games. Not from clicker games. That is garbage. That is a Skinner box.
And you know, this question, it came to me. It's a question I've thought of asking a version of on this. You're getting a lot of first time questions on the show.
I'm an exciting person.
I mean, like everyone gets unique questions, but you're getting like a few that are just like, you know, I've thought about making this a regular question. Chloe will be the guinea pig.
I provoke art.
Yeah. But. And I'm gonna ask it specifically about video games. If you can't think of an answer in that vein, and you want to make it like pop culture, but like you know, there's a lot of like real people answers, but we all have this answer.
Yeah.
What video game character is your gender icon?
Oh.
And if you want to make it like a cartoon character or a movie character, that's fine.
I'm a grown ass woman. I'll make it a video game character. I mean, aesthetically, I feel like it's different from what it maybe. One of my immediate thoughts is just like straight up Femshep. Like Femshep was like Samus. Samus is right the fuck up there. I think maybe more accurate for me would be Undyne from or Undine from Undertale. Because she's so aggro, she's so protective. Like I don't feel much attachment to like my astrological sign, which is Scorpio, but I'm like I'm a tank. Whatever my class is, I'm a tank. I'm gonna face tank enemies for my party, keep other people from taking damage. Like that's my shit. So maybe Undyne. So I'm running through like every game I can think of. Yeah. I mean, I've had a lot of euphoria from playing like Fallout New Vegas and Mass Effect, but those characters are so malleable that I almost feel like it's a cop-out answer. So I'm gonna say Undyne from Undertale.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Cool. Here's a Chloe specific question. What D&D class would you say you as a person are?
Paladin, not like lawful asshole, like a neutral good or category, but like Paladin. I face tank things for friends. I found myself reflexively walking into danger to protect people I don't know before. Yeah, I feel like that's it. I get a lot of like moral outrage, and I'm willing to risk bodily harm to like back that up.
Yeah.
So like Paladin, I think it's like one of the least sexy answers. Unfortunately, I'd love to say Rogue or Sorcerer or something, but no, I'm too confrontational.
I think I'm an arcane trickster. Yeah, but like a nice one.
Yeah. You don't have to be a jerk to be an arcane trickster. Just be tricksy. Yeah, see, I think that's a more fun answer. I wish I were an arcane trickster. But no, I'm just yelling about things I'm angry at.
Sometimes I feel like a cleric.
Cleric would be if I could be any class, I would pick cleric. Yeah. Oh, I want that heal spell. I want that fucking heal spell.
Favorite D&D monster?
I mean, dragons are the shit. I think one of the ones of my favorite when I DM'd were Nightwalkers from 3rd edition on 3.5. They're large undead, like they're shadow giants that hit you, and when they hit you, they drain levels.
Okay.
So they're really awful. I mean, liches are perfect. Liches are like what I want out of a villain. People don't play ancient undead or like immortal evil very well because all those things do is live. Like they're so good at surviving. Like if you made a 300-year-old vampire, you're not killing it. All it's ever done is survive.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like it can just wait to die. I had a couple NPCs like that. They were like mid-level villains who, when the party like kind of came back to like unleash a reckoning, they were gone. It's like, yeah, they're gonna wait till you die. They can still in the cave for 500 years and be fine, but they're not gonna risk immortality to fucking get into a slap fight with a bunch of fucking heroes.
Yeah. At some point in the current adventure I am DMing, my party will come face to face with an Aboleth. Don't watch this if you're in my game. And that's how I feel about. They are. I hate how much I love what I'm doing with this Aboleth of like.
Yeah, I mean I think that's like creatures are so much more dangerous than their stat blocks. If they're like played intelligently. because like all a lich really is just like a wizard with decent defense. Not even great defense, but decent defense.
Yeah.
What they really are is a motherfucker who's been alive for 800 years. And all they think about is how to keep on staying alive.
Yep.
Oh, that'll ruin a party's fucking day.
So we are pretty much done. I normally close with who are some trans folks who are doing good work, but we asked that. So I'm going to ask another one of my favorite questions to ask on this show. I break it out every once in a while. If you've seen this show enough times, maybe you know what it is. Chloe Zoser, last thing I am asking you before, I'll ask you to plug stuff that you want to after this. What is your favorite smell?
My wife's hair. There's nothing that's even like a close second except maybe like my wife's neck or her face.
It's like that is like a beautiful and a little creepy answer. It's just like that is. I'm like, no, that's beautiful.
Yeah. No, when I get into bed at night, like I often go to bed at night because I'm tired because I just can't stand not being around Mary any longer. So I get into bed, and yeah, I mean that just makes me feel pacified. I know if I'm spelling that like I am home and good and well. Also the people I love, I feel like just do smell really good to me. Like I feel like scent is a very
absolutely
both like physical thing and a very emotional one for me. So yeah. No, my wife's hair.
Yeah, and this was just I wanted to think of a final question. This is a fun question, but like that is like that's a perfect answer to that. I'm just like, okay, yeah, that's a perfect end to the show. Yeah. Thank you.
Quote number 2, weed.
Okay, we're done. So Chloe, do you have anything you would like to plug?
Yeah, I'd love to plug Queer Window. I'm sitting out this month with a back injury. I'm so canceled. I have my one-woman show is gonna go up again at the end of the month at Squirrel Theater, but my back, I fucked up my back, and I've injured myself doing the show when I had no injuries. There's no way I'm gonna fucking perform it. Plant Moms. We just got a new writer, so I'm really excited for that. Also, I'm just going to answer what this is because this has just been around my neck.
I decided not to ask.
I know you did. It's killing me. I have really bad acid reflux that only activates when I basically do aerobic exercise, and it's been that way since I was like 5. And I'm finally like, I need to get this fixed. But they put a remote probe at the base of my esophagus that measures acid. And then this is the remote machine. I've got to keep it within a yard of the probe. I didn't think it would suck that much, but it hadn't occurred to me that to like put the probe there, I'm pretty sure it's just pinned to my fucking esophagus because I can feel it and it hurts. So I've got a light esophagus piercing right now.
Now that's hardcore.
Yeah, that's a plug.
Wow.
I ruined the whole episode.
No, that's like, dude, where can people watch this? No, I'm kidding. No, I'm kidding. Who pokes your esophagus? Now I've ruined it.
I'm just glad that I brought you down to my level.
So thank you, Chloe, and thank you everyone for watching. We Are Trans does this show most weeks. We will be back next week. Our guest will be the wonderful actor, singer-songwriter, playwright, and voice actor. They do a lot of things. Socks Whitmore. If you have not basked in the joy that is a conversation with Socks Whitmore, it's a lot like the joy that is a Chloe Koser conversation, or I almost said most. They've all been. Who was my brain like subconsciously? Everyone you've seen on this show, and that will be next Saturday at 3 p.m. Eastern. I had to remember when this show happens. And also, We Are Trans is currently, details are still being hashed out, but we are working on a show for the end of the month that will be raising money towards Texas-based abortion funds and mutual aid. So to stay tuned for information on that. There's going to be some amazing people at that when we have the date, time, and all of the details. Drinking water. I've been talking a lot. When we have all of the details hammered out, follow us on Twitter at WeAreTrans1 or Facebook at WeAreTransOfficial and Instagram at Hey We Are Trans. Yes, they should have all been the same thing, but too bad. And until I see you at one of those, goodbye, everybody.